you should be taking into account the new patch, the new maps. Our players are still acclimating to a lot of these new features that are in these new maps as well. So that also adds another factor here to how you think this series is going to go. Meanwhile, we're getting into this, and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the South Korean Zerg player representing CranKy Gaming. The best Zerg in all South Korea, it is Dark. And spawning in the top right, we have his opponent, we have the South Korean Protoss player, also representing CranKy Gaming. It is herO. Here we go. Bit of a team kill. Also, shout out to Dally, and yeah, like if the chat does end up getting too rowdy, then of course we'll keep an eye on it. We'll keep an eye on it. But for now, you know, a lot of respect to not just the players, but also the other casters as well. Much love to Wardy, Into the Inu is casting in Korean, and Kolka is casting in French as well. So plenty of community casters are going on. Some less English coverage than we're used to, which is a bit of a shame, but I hope everything's okay. Hope the other community casters are doing well. I'm referring to Steadfast. I know Chicken Man typically doesn't wake up this early on, but Steadfast, Rotterdam, some of the other English casters. Hope all is well. As we get into this, and so far, it is going to be a hatch gas pool. Dark is forced to take the unnatural natural over here at the third base location. And likewise, herO is going for a gate expand into a cyber core. So everything is looking as it should. I guess one thing to point out is that Dark is forced to take a bit of a more uncomfortable base. But at this stage, you know, in the meta, in the year, Dark, he's comfortable to just be a little bit spread thin, and to make sure he keeps an eye on how he maynards, on his workers overall, make sure he doesn't expose himself. So everything is still looking normal. Meanwhile, out here on the map, we do have some interesting bases and some interesting features. So Hecate is known for being a little bit more standard in general. It is a little bit open in the center of the map, but it's relatively easy to expand and get your 4 bases up and running to get into the mid game, I should say, without too much issue. As we get into the mid game, that's when these bases come into play, where they are half rich bases. We have a couple of gold patches here and there, but a very exposed base and very difficult to actually hold on to. Very difficult, as behind this herO is going to be going for a Stargate opener. Lings do slip in, and they're going to be just harassing the mineral line. They shouldn't really get too much done here. herO is going to be able to pull back in time and hopefully not lose a probe. That does make it, and the probe should be saved in the end. At the same time, we have 2 more Lings in the natural, and here probes are going down. 1, 2 workers full, 3 even. This is becoming a bit much. Ay. Oof. 3 workers, and why I bring this up and why this is kind of a big deal, at this stage of the game, you shouldn't be losing any workers at all. These things, they are only meant to scout. They come in, they scout, they confirm the tech, and they leave. But to get 3 workers, that is a big win for Dark. A good start for our Zerg player, as the Oracle is getting across the map. But back at home, we do have Queens in position. Spores are on the way, but this Oracle could still find a couple of transferring workers. Oh, 1 drone goes down, the Spores, and done! And just like that, herO, he reciprocates the damage, getting 3 more worker kills. Again, the Spore was just a couple of seconds too late. herO is fighting back. Behind this, third base is being taken. The Adepts do stay at home. Dark is in position to scout and to get an eye on the timing of the third. But herO shouldn't lose it. Should have plenty here in position to defend it. As the Oracles head into the third base, again, 2 of them do one-shot workers, another 5 workers go down. Dark did end up cutting Queens, which is influencing this. As the Lings get a full surround and they get every single Adept. Very nicely done. Say every single Adept. 3 Adepts. 3 Adepts do go down. Good trade out of Dark. Oh my god. As he gets the critter. The hippo. Not like this. Or elephant? I'm not too sure what it is. Regardless. Calm down, Dark. Calm down. As herO, more importantly, he keeps the oracles alive. You know, he's able to regenerate those shields, dips in, gets another 3 drones. Ooh, but he pays the price for it. He will lose an oracle. 1 oracle goes down, but he did get 11 workers in total, and he's got another oracle out on the map as well. I do think because herO lost probes earlier, there's a lot of pressure on herO to get damage done, so he's been a little bit careless. He overextended a little bit too much, but he's been getting damage done nonetheless. 12 workers, pretty good. Pretty good overall, and herO is not stopping. He's got a 4th oracle on the way. Typically we stop at 3, but it may also be because herO lost one, so he just wants to make sure he has enough oracles to protect himself, to defend against Ling counterattacks. As the adepts once again hit the field. Just hyper aggression here out of herO. Dark for the most part has been minimizing losses, but the adepts, they rock up. They're looking to get into that mineral line. They deny the Evo chamber. When we cancel the shade, drones are going down. Another 5 workers. Ay, ay, ay. Up. And we get another 2 towards the end as well. Again, herO doing a great job at crippling the economy, or just keeping the economy low, keeping it down. Behind this, Twilight Council, Forge, +1. It is going to be a Blink Stalker transition out of herO. Very standard stuff. So he's going to be sharking around, threatening these bases. With 3 oracles, he could even force a cancel on this hatchery. Yeah, he's going for it. Oof. Yeah, it does force the cancel. Dark is being contained. Behind this, an interesting tech choice. We are going Ling Hydra. Hydra Den was thrown down, +1 ranges on the way. Ling Hydra has been actually becoming quite popular recently. Because of the changes, because of the new patch, it is cheaper to get into Ling Hydra. It is much more appealing. Players like Dark, players like Raynor, they have been experimenting quite a lot with it. Especially because, I mean, there's a couple of things that like factor into this. The other big thing is, if you remember, the baneling was nerfed in this matchup as well. They no longer one-shot workers when they get +2 melee, so now it's more lucrative to go into +1 range instead of melee upgrades. So it's all kind of leading in the direction of going into Hydra, or pushing Hydra play in this matchup. So Ling Hydra's on the way, Infestation Mid as well for Hive Tech, for Vipers, and eventually Lurkers. That's the other good thing about going Ling Hydra, is it is a more seamless transition into Lurker Tech. And against Ground Toss, again, Lurkers are king, if we can get there. If we want to get there. Until then, Dark finally getting his 4th base up and running. It will finish. Took a while, took a little bit longer than he would have liked, but it's on the way nonetheless. He's just establishing himself. I spoke about the Lunkers earlier, and there it is. Lurker Den is on the way. I assumed, oh my god, as a herO wants that base. Up! And he will barely not get it. Oh my god, the hatchery barely survives. The oracles, they try to go in, but no, the Hydras are in position. Once again, we blink forward, and we barely snipe the hatchery. But that was an expensive trade. 12 Stalkers. 12 Stalkers went down, basically almost the entire army. We have a couple of Stalkers remaining back at home, but this is going to give Dark quite a bit of momentum. Dark, he's up almost 50 supply. He's double expanding. Building up his Hydra counts, working towards the Hive. Oh no, the hippo. Ursidon? Is that what it is? Is it a bear? I don't know. But we're animals. They're animals. Behind this herO, he's actually going to be skipping Colossus. I'm a little bit surprised. I'm surprised that we aren't going Colossus first. We're going straight for Disruptors. High risk, high reward. Very risky play out of herO. Again, Colossus, they provide some consistent splash damage. They do well against Ling Hydra, but they can struggle against against Lurkers, which is where Disruptors come into play. They're a little bit more flexible in that respect. They can be more impactful. As we have 7 Lurkers in production. Dark is getting his 4th and now his 5th base up and running. Dark has max. So even though I do think earlier he could have maybe cut workers and maxed out on Ling Hydra and tried to punish herO after he lost so many stalkers, I do think that there was the opportunity to do that. This is more secure, to just tech up into Hive Tech, to tech up into lurkers as well. This is just safer play out of Dark. The only thing that he's really lacking here is Vipers. Vipers would completely shut down this disruptor play. But we aren't quite there yet. Dark, I don't think he's quite seen the amount of disruptors he's up against. As the Ling Lurker is pushing on forward, overcharge is popped. Lurker's getting a lot of damage done, but here come the disruptors. Novas, they go off, they take down 1, 2 of those Lurkers. Good connection so far. And Dark has to be careful not to overextend. He's getting good damage, don't get me wrong, but we are running out of support here for the Lurkers. At the same time, though, we have lurkers in every single base, the main and the natural. The lurker drops, let's go. The 4th base goes down as well. herO is being pulled apart. The main army pushing on forward into the 3rd. Every base is on fire. The Lings, they catch the Immortals, they go straight for the disruptors as well. Dark coming in from every angle. And with that, it looks like Dark is just snowballing out of control. Again, herO, he was doing a great job at just slowing down the bases and slowing down the economy of Dark, but it came at a price. And with this final push, it looks like Dark, he will break the 3rd. The main and the natural back under control of herO, but it's not enough. GG gets called, and Dark takes game number 1. Oh, GG. GG, well played. Again, herO, just because he lost so many stalkers as well, to wind it back a little bit, remember, it was 12 stalkers. He lost 12 stalkers killing the 4th base. After that happened, it also meant it wasn't just that he lost his army, but it meant that he couldn't really be active anymore. He couldn't really assert himself on the map. He couldn't vie for map control, threaten more bases, try to threaten the economy either. He was stuck at home just turtling and teching. And I do appreciate that he was working towards disruptors, don't get me wrong. But even then, he was being spread thin between his bases. He was still struggling to hold on to his, at that point, would be 4th base. And it was really smart of Dark to approach that the way that he did. You know, he came in with drop lords into the main, into the natural, just completely pulling apart the attention of herO. And even without Vipers, Dark was able to break through, which is impressive. Typically, pushing into disruptors is a very difficult thing to do. Or nigh impossible thing to do. Without Vipers, I should say. But alas, herO, his attention was pulled apart, and Dark found an opening. And with that, he takes game 1, and now we're getting into game number 2. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have our blue Zerg player representing CranKy Gaming, leading the series 1-0. It is Dark. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have his teammate, the South Korean Protoss, also representing CranKy Gaming. It is herO. Now, unfortunately, this is a best of 3. I would love a best of 5 between these two. I'm greedy. I'm greedy. I want more games, Papi. I want more games, but you know, we have at most 2 games left, and the pressure is on herO to fight back, to bring it all back here on site Delta. Again, he does force the unnatural natural out of Dark 2 games in a row. And of course, we have to give credit where credit is due. herO, he was doing a lot of damage with his oracles. His oracles, they killed, what, almost 14 drones in total in the early game. Doing a great job at just keeping up and keeping the drone count as low as possible. Helping herO recover from the early game as well. And it wasn't just the oracles, it was the adept harass. I do think he did a good job at least doing that, even denying the 4th initially. It was just afterwards, once we were heading into the mid game, where herO was arguably overly aggressive. Yeah, he had to calm down, Bobby. Calm down. Regardless, herO going for a gate, expand into a cyber core. Likewise, Dark also going for an economic opener as well. As we talk about site delta, again, these spaces are relatively defensible. They are a little bit further apart than some of the other maps that we have been accustomed to, that we have been covering, like Golden Aura, for example, or even maps like Alkione. But once you are able to establish your 4 bases, then you can cut the map in half. We have seen quite a lot of late game scenarios here on site delta. And we'll see if we can see that again. As for now, Stargate opener. Standard opener here out of herO. He's not flinching. He's not going for a Twilight Council. Stargate into Oracle into third base. The early game should be relatively standard. Likewise, this time Dark doesn't send his first lings across the map. He's keeping them back at home. He's relying on his Overlord to scout instead. Which means things won't get too chaotic in the early game. If you remember, back in game 1, herO, he lost 3 workers really early on to those lings. This time that will not be happening. This time he's secure. Fully walls off, he's got his Adept. Oracle's on the way. And we even have the Adept in position here at the third as well. Yeah, herO going for a much faster third this time. Going to be keeping his first Oracle back at home, just to make sure his third gets up and running. But that will change once we get the second Oracle out. There we go, herO is moving out across the map. We do have a couple of lings on the field for Dark, but that is merely for scouting. He can't really threaten this Nexus. We'll just get eyes on it, just to make sure he's not being all-in. As the first Oracle gets across the map, he gets some Larva. Ooh, Spore not quite done. Second Queen is out of position as well, which means that drones are going down. 4 workers already. And barely any hull damage. A good start here for herO. Likewise, the second Oracle goes in. This one getting a lot less done though. Takes some big hits. Bit of an overextension out of herO, but at least he keeps both Oracles alive. He's going to be able to regenerate those shields and come in once again. Oh my god. Meanwhile, we have a much faster transition. There it is. No Forge. It's Glaives. It's a Twilight Council with additional gateways. Glaives is what this screams. Now, there's pros and cons to this, as Dark is coming in for a scout, trying to figure out what's going on. This does put once again a lot of pressure on herO to get damage done with those Adepts. The reason why I say that is because this will be delaying Blink, it delays +1, it delays any other tech. A lot of onus is on herO to cripple the economy of Dark with this. Meanwhile, Dark wasn't able to scout. He tried to dip in with his Overlord, but he saw nothing. Didn't see the gateways, didn't see the tech. Overlord does fall. And Dark is going straight into Hydras. Uh-oh. Not Roaches. Now, as you can imagine, Glaive Adepts, they work wonders against all things light. Lings and Hydras. So Dark is going to have to try to pull together his queens and minimize his losses with just Ling, Queen, Hydra to defend. Again, this did catch him off guard. We have 26 more Lings in production. We do commit to the Shade. The Lings are here. The boys are being pulled away, but again, the Lings, they get annihilated. Oh, and they get another 5 workers. We still need more damage as the Adepts shade into the main base. Lings are waiting for them. A rough shade here from herO. But once again, he maintains his position, forces more lost mining time. As he bounces between the main and the third base, the Oracles do hit the third. 8 more workers go down. No mining here at the natural either. And you can see how much trouble Dark is having cleaning up the first wave of Adepts, and finally they will go down. But not before killing even more workers. 20 drones in total. 20 drones and 42 Lings. A good trade here from herO. He's now ahead economically. He's taking up towards Immortals. He's got more Adepts as well to keep Dark back at home. And he's working towards eventually Colossus or Disruptors with that Robotics Bay. Now, herO has to make sure not to throw this away. Not to throw away these Adepts, I mean. Like, he's in a good position, but he does have to respect the Hydras. If he can get on top of them, then he can, of course, trade well. There we go. He slips into the main base. Lings are going down. The Hydra's looking very exposed. herO, if he wanted to, he could shade on these Hydras, and he could trade well. As he just remains here in the main. Takes control of the mineral line and recalls back home. And Dark is in quite a lot of trouble. Winding it back, the big reason for this is because Dark failed to scout the follow-up, and he was blindly going Ling Hydra instead of Roach. I'm sure if he had scouted, he would have thrown down a Roach Warren, but he didn't, and as a result, it took him so long to clean that up. And now Dark, he's working on a fourth. Sorry, herO is working on a fourth. Dark is stuck on 3 bases. And this is a bit of a Hail Mary play. I kind of like it because it is one of the ways that we can come back. Dark is going straight into a Lurker Den. Lair Tech Lurkers. No Infestation Pit, no Hive, no upgrades. But this is just to survive. To kind of turtle up and take a more defensive position. I say that, I guess he could try to hit a timing and push out across the map, but I'm not feeling too confident about that. We'll see. We'll see if Dark tries to take a fourth or if he just goes all in. There it is. Infestation Pit. That tells us that Dark does intend to be defensive. 4th base is taken. Of course, he's going to be active with this army. But more than anything, Dark, he wants to survive long enough to actually get into Hive Tech. There it is. The Lurkers are on the way. They are spotted by the Revelation. herO knows. And now herO knows that Dark is vulnerable at the moment. Dark rushing into these Lurkers. It means that Dark's army is looking quite small. And herO is up to 4 Colossi. This isn't the best army to push into Lurkers, but Lair Tech Lurkers, you know, they aren't ideal. They don't have that much range. herO can push in. He's got an Immortal behind this as well. Rotating around. Looks like he will deny this 4th. Adepts try to shade him, but they get caught out. Good pick off here from Dark. But again, he will still be contained to 3 bases. Another Lurker goes down. Oh, that's a kill, not a cancel. And herO is working his way towards the natural. Dark has to hold here and now. The Queens are falling, the Lurkers get focused down, and it looks like herO has far too much. We are getting an ace match. GG gets called, and herO takes game number 2. All the way, papi. All the way to game 3. Let's go. GG. And again, a lot of this was just down to herO successfully hiding his transition, hiding the fact that he was going into Glaive Adepts, and Dark caught completely off guard by that. They were able to not just trade well against the Lings, also get a lot of economic damage done, and just be such a nuisance, deny so much mining, be such a thorn in Dark's side. By the time he finally cleaned them up, herO, he was working towards a 4th base, working towards Colossus. herO was in a beautiful position. And now, we have an ace match. Let's go. Now, I don't expect herO to do that 2 games in a row. It's typically really risky to rely on rushing into those Glaive Adepts the way that he did more than once in a series. But at the same time, herO, he's a very versatile player. He's got a lot of builds up his sleeve. So he doesn't have to rely on it anyway. He's, I'm sure, got plenty more to offer. Oh, show us the Fleet Beacon. Show us the Carrier Rush, baby. Aye, aye, aye. I'm joking, don't do it. Not like this. As we're getting into game 3 and spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Hardland, we have the South Korean Zurich player representing CranKy Gaming, taking a loss in that last game, being forced into the ace match. It is Dark. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the South Korean Protoss, also representing CranKy Gaming, tying up the series 1-1 in that last game. It is herO. Here we go. Now, what is interesting is that 2 games in a row, Dark did attempt to rush into Ling Hydra. That is something that did occur, and I wonder if he plans on doing that again, because that Glaive Adept build out of herO is designed to, I don't want to say hard counter, but punish a player that skips a Roach Warren. That is the ideal situation for herO in game number 2, is for the Zerg player to cut corners and to delay their Roach Warren. In Dark's case, it was just avoid the Roach Warren entirely and go for the Hydra Den. So that is where these Glaive Adept follow-ups shine the most. So I wonder if Dark is gonna pull back a little bit and actually go for some more Roach heavy style instead. Lingbane Roach is still very viable. Roach Ravager Ling as well. Ling Hydra has been trendy, but by no means is that the only way you can play out ZVP. Likewise, I wonder if herO is taking that into consideration. The reason why I brought it up earlier is that I do think it was really smart of herO to go for Glaives, just because I'm sure he was assuming that Dark was going into Hydras again 2 games in a row. So that should deter Dark from doing so in game 3. As for now, the openers are standard, right? It's like typically we're looking at the getting into the mid game to really see these big deviations, especially when it comes to tech. Of course, herO could try to throw down the Twilight Council, but there it is. Stargate gets thrown down, so once again should be a standard opener out of herO. And once again a Hatch Gas Pool out of Dark. He's going to be forced to make these Lings. The probe is here. The Adept does make it here in time as well to delay the 3rd base. This is going to be a little bit annoying to deal with. Ooh, 1 drone goes down. And the 3rd base of Dark is going to be delayed for a moment. God, herO being so annoying. But he does come into the shade. And now Dark can expand. As back at home, we're just getting into our standard 2-base setup. Oracle's on the way to harass. Adepts are getting in position, and we should be seeing a 3rd base taken momentarily from herO. We'll see if he takes the triangular 3rd or the linear 3rd base. See which one he goes for. As the previous PvZ that we casted between Dark and Classic, Classic did end up taking that triangular 3rd. If I'm not mistaken. Interesting, we're actually delaying the base. We're building up Adepts. Okay. So herO, he intentionally delays his expansion here. He's warping in another wave of Adepts to move out across the map. So a much more aggressive opener this time out of our Protoss. Obviously, these aren't Glaive Adepts, but they are designed to try to catch Dark off guard and to get some economic damage done. Spores are on the way, Queens as well. Here we go, the Adepts are moving out, and the 3rd base is being taken. Okay, so just a delayed 3rd. The Adepts will stay back at home. Okay, so just really safe play out of herO. I said aggressive because I assumed that we would be moving out, but no, just safe play in the end. Oracle zip into the main, but so far they... Oh god, no! Oof. As the Stasis Trap does go off, I was about to say that we haven't really killed too many workers so far, but I have to hold my tongue because, 3-4 workers do get caught. 5 workers even, and a Queen. At the same time, the Adepts do hit the field. We have 4 into the 3rd base. We have another 3 here at the natural. That defense turning into an offense. The Lings are being cleaned up. And we are still looking for worker kills. So far, Dark is minimizing his losses. He's able to keep up. Oh, but I spoke too soon. 4 drones go down. 5 workers barely in the end. The Oracles, they come back in, but the Queens are in position. Again, this could have been a lot worse. Basically, herO trades 1 for 1. 5 adepts for 6 workers. Dark is able to hold on to his economy, drone up from here, and there it is. We have a Roach Warren, not a Hydra Den, which is kind of what I expected, especially after what happened in Game 2. Oh, bit of miscontrol out of Dark. His queens were left idle, and 2 queens go down. Pretty big pickoff. But again, it is going to be a more Ling Roach-centric composition instead. Oh, as I say that, there is that Hydra Den. So we still commit to the Hydra Den, but we got a safety Roach Warren first. So Dark has been humbled after that last game. Oh, good target firing as well. He does get that Oracle. In the end, though, I would say that herO has the better economic position. We're even on bases, even on workers. Always a better thing for the Protoss. The Oracles, they come in, they scout and confirm the Hydra Den. herO is aware. Once again, +1 range on the way. Infestation Pit as well. So Dark is actually taking up a little bit harder. As he's teching, here comes herO. Oh, catching Dark in a really awkward position. Queens have to be brought to the front lines. We lost 2 queens earlier. But Dark, he does hold Adepts. They shade into the main. Drones are going down at the same time. The Stalkers are trying to pull Dark apart. How many gateways are we on? 7 gates! 7 gates back at home. herO just warping into the front lines, trying to break Dark here and now. There it is, 8th gateway on the way. It's an 8 gate all-in out of herO. 3 base all-in, essentially. herO just trying to snowball out of control. +1 is going to be kicking in behind this. No additional tech yet. Just pure Blink Stalkers. The Lings are going down now. The Hydras are exposed. And herO hasn't been losing any Stalkers. Not yet. The Blinks are just a little bit too good. Look at the units lost. Not a single Stalker has died. Likewise, Dark has also been preserving most of his Hydras. He's only lost 1. God, but we're just continuing to keep the pressure on. Again, herO, he needs to break his opponent here and now. Like, he's not taking up into Colossus or Disruptors, no Storm, no Templar Archives, or Robotics Bay. It's just pure gateway units. That's all he has. But Dark is being pulled apart. We get a massive warp in into the main base. Zealots are wreaking havoc. Stalkers are continuing to push in. And Dark cannot hold. The Hydras are falling left and right. And herO has done it. Dark was just taking up too much, trying to get into Hydras, trying to get into that hive. 2 infestation pits. Oh, with 2 infestation pits as well. As 10 workers go down, the Hydra army of Dark has fallen, and it looks like herO has done it. He has broken through. Dark barely has an army. He's down to 3 bases. He has no further tech. And now herO knows it's safe enough to tech up himself. 2nd Robo. Robotics Bay on the way. Double Colossus production. GG gets called. There's too much Protoss, too much herO. And herO will take the series 2-1, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. GG, well played. Dark just being a little bit too greedy. I assumed that he wasn't going to go Ling Hydra 3 games in a row, but he went for it there towards the end. And again, it's just such a tech-heavy style to go for, such an expensive style to go for, and he was caught out by herO. I want to say that as soon as herO saw the Hydra Den, that's when he started working towards his push, working towards his 3-base all-in. That's when he knew that he could try to catch Dark being too greedy. As Dark needed time. He needed time to build up his forces, build up his army. That is time that herO would not allow him to get. GG. GG. Congratulations to herO for taking the series. My condolences to Dark. With that, the final Zerg player goes down in the tournament, but you know, balance here. We had Dark representing the Zergs, we have herO for the Protoss, and in the finals, herO is facing off against Bjorn. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the bracket. Bjorn versus Nightmare has concluded, and as we refresh the bracket, we do get eyes on, oh, it hasn't been updated. Never mind. Not too sure what the score was, but Bjorn did come out on top, and the finals is Bjorn versus herO in a best of 5.